Hello and welcome to the Party Football Podcast, a podcast about all things Premier League. If you are new around here, please do subscribe to the channel as it really does help us out. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright lads, starting out at the Emirates, Arsenal running out 5-0 winners against what was a pretty poor Crystal Palace outfit. This is a game Arsenal really needed to win and to win well because of the poor Christmas form, the defeats to Fulham, to West Ham as well, and a few other things, getting knocked out with the FA Cup by Liverpool. Arsenal 1 win in 7, I think it was, for them over the last couple of weeks, and they definitely needed to win and win well, and that's exactly what they did, albeit being aided by, this Crystal Palace team that we've talked about a couple of times, under Roy Hodgson last year. They sacked Vieira, which I think was just a silly thing to do. They went back to Hodgson, and whatever. The 10 games he was in charge last season, they did okay. But 21 games this season, if you look at the stats, that compared to the 10 games last season, everything is down. Win percentage, shots on target, goals scored, goals conceded is up, things like that. They just seem to be regression. And we also seen in this game, which I haven't seen all season, from Palace fans, banners criticizing the club, the owners, the how it's run and stuff like that. Johnny, we mentioned it in the group chat the other day. Palace should have capitalized on Zaha a couple of years ago, whatever it was, 4 or 5 years ago, got your 60, 70, 80 million for him at the time, reinvest, and it just seems like now, it just seems like nothing's working for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's with Palace, it's one of those things. They're one of those teams you're caught because you can't go any further without serious investment. But at the same time, you've done fantastically. You've told them they'd be, 10 years in the Premier League? They would have bit your hand off. Yeah. However, it is getting to the stage now where they're very lucky. There's 3 much worse teams than them this season, or else they'd be gone. Unless on the verge, anyway. And they're very, very lucky.
They do have a very good core group of players, like Anderson, Mark Gray,
solid, solid.
Eze, Olise, very good side. Even Edouard, if he manages to live up to the hype that he has, that could be a fantastic young Crystal Palace team. But there's just something lacking about it. I don't know what it is. Like, just the progression. They're like 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of a team. And like you said, they're in the Premier League, but they've never looked like they were ever going to crack, top 8
Europe,
at all. Like, they're never going to reach those heights. Like, they're not going to get relegated anytime soon, I don't think. I think they're probably too good for that. But like you said, just because there's 3 worse teams than them this year, they could have been in a lot more trouble.
Yeah, I didn't even go like, what is the board thinking? Like, with Roy Hodgson coming in last season, I understood the appointment to get someone in, steady it all, but to stick with him then this season, sure, like, what do they expect? And then maybe you look at, what coaches are out there, what managers are out there. They don't seem to have any idea where they want to go or moving forward as a club. So they look caught. They look like they don't really know what they're doing. And the fans, of course, turning on it. They see that themselves.
Yeah.
Probably massively frustrating to be a Palace fan. We know all about bad owners. It's one of those where I'm not sure where you go. They're kind of caught. They don't know what they're doing. Like, they're going to have to, like you said with Zaha, cash in on probably Eze or Elisa this summer and hope to reinvest that properly. But what does reinvestment mean? I mean, with the way the market is, the inflation in it is massive. So the money that you may get for Elisa or Eze might only buy you one player, 2 players. You don't know really what the market's going to be like this summer.
Today's market, they're both young players, they're both very good players. You could probably fetch, if you wanted to, 120 million for the both of them, right? You could, I know you're talking about inflation, but if you spend it well, you could probably buy 5 or 6 solid players to build around in that team.
It's hard to know because,
like looking at their team, they brought on James Tompkins the other day, who I didn't know was still playing football. I remember him from years ago. The players like Joel Ward, who was never a Premier League footballer. I don't know how he made a career out of it. In fairness to him. But just things like that, it doesn't seem to be working. And apparently, they do have a good academy. They do have a lot of decent young players coming up. But at the same time, they're not going to get you anywhere near where you want to be in the next couple of years. Like, you might have 1 or 2 standout performers in the youth setup, but you still need, at least 6 or 7 players to rebuild that team.
I think they're going to have to do without Elise, and those are probably 2 players that they are going to, regardless of where they go on the table, they are going to end up selling them for sure. 60 million a piece probably sounds about right. I think I was trying to think of it there, trying to look it up. I don't know. In the summer, I was fairly sure they brought in 2 players. I think it was that Matthias. I can't remember. Sorry, Franca from Flamengo, the Brazilian lad, the attacking midfielder. They got him for like 20 million, and then I think Rob Holding for like 1 million.
Oh, yeah.
As far as I remember, they're
actually going back to that because.
So
I don't think it's working out too well for him at Crystal Palace, anyways. But I thought at the time he was a decent buy for them. But
that would have been a good sign.
Look at Anderson and Mark Gray, like they're quality players. Like Mark Gray especially.
Mark Gray is probably a player that you'll probably see going somewhere as well.
Yeah, I can see him go to
definitely. Yeah.
Well, he's another one that could fetch 60, 70 million. He's English as well. You got to pay the English tax. And he's still young. He's what, 24? I think he is.
22 even, is he?
Is he?
No, 20. I think
I don't think he's any older than 25, 100%.
No, yeah, but that's it. He's a good age bracket.
Yeah, definitely. Like he's definitely.
And he's our captain as well, isn't he?
I
think so. Yeah. I think he is. Yeah. But like keeper, I think is okay. They have a decent backup in a couple of keepers that they have. But, just everything else. Mateta doesn't seem to be scoring. Edouard goes on little like 2 or 3 game spans where he could score and then just nothing happens. Like there was a lot of hype about him a couple of years ago before he went to Palace, and
up in Celtic,
built up to it. But maybe it wasn't the best team for him at the time. But yeah, like Rob, like who do you think would maybe come in and try and change that Palace team? There was a lot of talk of Graham Potter. He was spotted at the game the other day, him taking over from Hudson, but there would not need to be a lot of like changes from top to bottom to turn that club around.
Yeah, that'd be a wild one, especially with the big Palace and Brighton rivalry. That'd be a mad old transfer. But like, for someone to come in, it's not going to be generally a big name. Like Potter is a big name now, only because he went to Chelsea and failed at Chelsea. Other than that, he was still a small name. Like we still don't really know how good he is as manager, because he had the perfect Brighton setup already done for him. Like Brighton are playing pretty much the same football after he left any of the Zerbi. So was it really down to him? What's kind of going on? We don't know.
Yeah.
Like who could they bring in? It could just be anybody. Like it could be any former player that just steps up into it that we've never heard of. Like right that, it's just so random.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
think Vieira would have been a good appointment for him. Just didn't give him time.
I think seemingly went wrong with Vieira, didn't it? And
he
started so well, and then it just turned.
It was all background. It was all like he was having problems.
But then, is that the manager's fault, or is that the owner's fault, or who's?
It's like anything, player power. When you lose a dressing room, it goes sour. I think he had lost a good percentage of that dressing room come the end of his tenure, which in turn then he fell out with the board. I think he wanted naturally better signings, more use of money, and they. For their own part, they said they invested and they still had a squad to work with. So basically shutting down, and like Vieira, like he's going to be the same as his playing career as he is in his managerial. If things don't go his way, he's going to kick up a stink. So
yeah.
Getting Roy in when they did last season for the 10 or 11 games they should have left it at that. They should have used up that time, because like with all due respect to Roy Hodgson, like Emanson is mid-70s.
He's 76,
like he looked great. He had a great career, great manager, but that's not who they needed to progress. You needed a manager to progress that team, the likes of a Gary O'Neill, who was available in the summer, someone like that. It's one of those. That's who they needed, a young up and coming manager. Like, don't be surprised if you see Hudson gone in the summer. And I don't really believe much of this Potter thing. Yes, I know he's at the game, but there could have been a million and one reasons where that was.
I think if you're Potter, you're mad if you don't wait around and see what happens.
I think so.
There's a lot of volatile teams
I think he sits and waits.
I think he's just going to a game to
just for the sake of it. Is he from around there? Is he from? Where's Potter from?
No. Well, he would have been living in London.
Living in Brighton.
Living in London with these Chelsea. So maybe that's the thing. I think.
Yeah.
I think. Don't be surprised if you see the likes of Michael Carrick or someone from the Championship.
Carrick or even Kieran McKenna, two of our own.
Kieran McKenna, yeah. Don't be surprised if you don't see them. Now, obviously, there's still a chance that they get promoted from the Championship. But if she just said they don't be surprised to see those names coming to the mix by the summer.
Yeah. Right, moving on to Arsenal then, Rob, really quickly. Now, like I said, Arsenal needed to get the confidence back up. They need to get, Martinelli, a couple of great goals, identical goals in the space of 100 seconds, whatever it was. But they really need for Martinelli, Xhaka, and Odegaard to really get their confidence back and recapture that, like the form they had last year. They were contributing to goals every game. All three of them were getting in on goals. And obviously that's the biggest problem area for Arsenal. They just can't put the ball in the net. There is
you say that after a 5-0 win, though.
I know I said, but look at games beforehand. We went, what was it, before the game at the Emirates? We went 46 shots at the Emirates without scoring, which 46 shots is fucking ridiculous, man. But yeah, last year those three players alone had contributed to, what was it, 7? I think it was nearly 70 goals, like goals and assists between three of them. 70 something out of the whatever how many goals we scored. They were intricate, but just this year, I don't know, something's just not clicking with them. Maybe they're all the added games with the Champions League is a much higher level, obviously. Might be taking its toll. But they're out of the FA Cup, they're out of the League Cup. So they just have Champions League and League now. Can they really start to push on now, Rob? Next 5 games quickly, just Forest away, Liverpool at home, West Ham away, Burnley away, then Newcastle at home. They're not easy fixtures. Burnley away, probably easy enough. Forest away under Nuno might be tough, who knows? But those Liverpool, West Ham, and Newcastle games, they're gonna have to really pull up their socks.
First off, I wouldn't say the Martinelli goals were great. There may as well. There was literally no right back for either. He just ran straight. But the work was done for him.
You take that back.
And there were simple finishes. There were stupid goals to see.
They were really bad. The
there was no right back. There was no right back for either of them. Where did they go? As if fucking Trent was playing there or something. Arsenal. But like you said, they won well without getting past second gear. They haven't done that this season, which is exactly the problem. They come up with the right time against a bad Palace team. We'll really see now how they go next 2 or 3 games. Burnley, anyways, Liverpool one is just dodgy because you could be in horrible form and just kick up a fuss for it, or you could just be in class form and play a stinker. That's just how it is with Liverpool, anyways. It's not really a statement win, but it is still a big win because they need to get back to winning ways. And what we have to do by fucking smashing their London rivals, fucking 5-0, that's unreal. Even though 2 of them was in the last 5 minutes, fucking when the game was over. Two corners. Yeah, 2 corners, and again, there was a counter attack. So none of them were really special goals either. None of them was trademark Arsenal goals. We were playing around the box, which could be a problem. They were all set pieces.
Arsenal just keep trying to pass through these low blocks.
See, the thing is, I know obviously we all know Arsenal won the league last year, but this is why they say it's easier to win it the first year than it is to win it second time in a row because everyone cops on to what you're doing, and that's the problem with Arsenal now. Everyone kind of knows what they're doing, and as I said, even though obviously they didn't win the league, they still all copped on to it as good as they were. They just found out. And Martinelli's still doing the same old shit. He got 2 goals in the game, but he was still up to his old crap beforehand.
Yeah, I get really frustrated watching him. He tries to take on a player and he just 9 times out of 10 he'll overrun it. And he'll do a little move or anything or something like that, and then he'll go towards the end line, and 9 times out of 10 it goes out of play. He's too fond of inviting 2 or 3 players.
Inviting defenders.
Yeah, exactly. We get it, you're good. You have skills to your game, but what you have most is your pace. If you can one-on-one a defender and get past them, no problem, then you're in. But he just likes to wait for an extra player, and then he tries to beat them, and it doesn't work, and he just slows it down, turns around, passes it off, and then the other team has 10 players behind the ball. He definitely needed. I think he of all people needed those goals because he has just not been contributing this season. Saka has been doing his best, but you can see over the last couple of games, he's just looking very leggy.
He looks absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
I watched. I was going to bring up the biggest thing I noticed about that game is, he looks so fucking tired. As well as that, I don't know if this is the contributing fact that Arsenal released something about Saka being tackled at, but he's going down 2 easy. Like as soon as he got a shove in the back or a little tip, or he's going down for no, like he's losing his balance. I don't know, is that a fatigue thing or is he just being a pussy? But
like you need to mind him as well as Arsenal manager.
You do.
Arteta needs to pull him out. Trossard's good enough to better. He's a
Trossard,
kid.
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned Trossard. Yeah. Trossard has 25 starts for Arsenal and he has 20 goals and assists in 25
fantastic signing, like.
He's class player. Like.
Yeah.
I think Saka needs a break.
Reece Nelson as well. Reece Nelson has been at the club a while, and he's a great little footballer, but he's obviously, I don't think he's at the level of Saka, but he still can take on players. He's pacey, he has tricks, and he can play the ball. Like, he's a ready enough replacement. We don't need to buy another like winger or anything like that. Like Reece Nelson is fine. Saka needs to be rested. Let him play 65 minutes.
You're going to kill the show.
Like against Forest, like I'd be happy enough if Reece Nelson starts that game. Saka come on for the last 20-25 minutes, see how it goes. Reece Nelson's totally capable. Trossard's totally capable. Like, I don't know. He just can play on the right if he wants. Have Havertz up front and have Trossard and Martinelli both on the left.
Let them show if they are capable or not. I mean, Havertz has got loads of minutes this season where I feel like Trossard. I think Trossard was missing for the first while anyway, wasn't he? Or was he injured for the first part of the season? Trossard.
I don't think so. No, I think he maybe had a small injury. Yeah, but
I think he was in and out.
He wasn't getting messy. Yeah,
but surely, like you need to let them decide that. All right, let them show if they're good enough or not. Because what could happen with Saka is what we see so many times happen with young players is they've played so much football early in their career. Once they get into that late 20s, it can happen. None of us want to see it happen. Like
the big injuries start to come.
And it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Only so many times he could let his country down as well.
Shut your fucking mouth.
As well on that one,
but it goes back to man management.
He does need to be rested because of the style of player he is. He does take on, and he does get tackled a lot. There's no denying that. And whether
the ball goes to him quite a lot as well.
It goes to him a lot. It goes through him a lot as well. But like he does get tackled hard as well as like I said earlier on that he was going down very soft or giving up very softly. Now I think that was a lot due to the fatigue, but there's no denying that he's getting hit hard in a lot of games. So that is going to. Like, there's only so many hits the body can take, and he's not the biggest lad going.
Exactly,
He's tall. Whether he's 6 foot, is he? But he's quite petite.
He's quite slim.
He doesn't look like he has a lot of mass to him. So he Arteta needs to seriously consider. Like that would have been the perfect game to rest him. In all fairness, like I know you needed to win, but like clearly you don't know without him because he did no goals. Or he would have assisted if not for the own goal.
But he didn't really look like trying to see like he was going to score or anything like that. Like
no, so he just they need to or he needs for his own sake. Then maybe he needs to fake an injury for a game or two.
Yeah, maybe nothing wrong with that.
But it goes back. It does go back to the manager. Like
it does.
You have to be able to take your guy out. Like you have to.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we'll move on from Arsenal then. We'll go to the GTEC Community Stadium, Brentford and Nottingham Forest. Brentford winning 3-2 in what was a fantastic game of football. If you were living under a rock for the last couple of weeks, you might have missed that Ivan Toney is back playing Premier League football. Good to have him back. I do like Ivan Toney. Obviously, there's a bit of controversy about the free kick he scored.
I think it's so silly what's going on about it. Like, is it crazy? Do you think?
I don't think it's crazy.
I think
it's crazy. You ever see someone put a ball down for a corner?
Yeah.
What did they do? Like ball for a free kick.
He's really creating a new angle for the ball and stuff. Like
I don't mind if he moves it like an inch or two.
Yeah, but he moved
full yard and a half. He moved it, and he moved it twice. But the other thing on that too, before we go deep into that too,
spray stuff and like moved it around the ball as well. Like you know what I mean? Like,
but you know what the thing I found gas more than anything of that. Like I was listening to this that. There's a few different elements of that goal that need to be considered before we go looking at the Tony. So the referee had his back to the player, so he should have had the fourth official keep an eye on Tony that he doesn't try anything dodgy, and he went talking to the wall. Why the fuck does the referee need to talk to the wall? Didn't he talk to the wall?
Yeah.
Stay behind the line. End of story. The other thing is the defenders in the wall never cupped on.
Straight at him. Yeah, never
cupped on. And the keeper as well was looking at that direction as well. Like there was a camera angle that showed the keeper Turner, like he was moving the wall and he was looking directly at Tony and he never cupped on. So there's a few elements of that you need to consider before we attack Tony.
Could VAR check
I'm
that?
not attacking him. I'm not attacking him.
I'm not saying we're
Twitter and stuff. And
I'm not saying we're attacking him, but like what he did was he was a piece of shit for doing it. But like, fucking hell, you have to do what you have to do. Try and get the win. Like,
I think the funniest thing was in it, right? So if you see the 4 or 5 lads on the wall, there's an extra lad. There's a gap in the wall, which is exactly what he puts it, like a 2-man gap in the wall, and then there's another Forest lad there. And the way he tries to block it, he just throws his kick at it like the worst time all you have to do is step into it and he blocks it like. He sends a foot up at it. Like it's so bad. It is cheating how he done it, because if it happened to us or Arsenal, fucking
if it happened to them, they would have been.
If a City player had done that, hell, like I'd be going fucking nuts. But I fucking love Ivan Toney, so what a goal! It's just perfect. It's the perfect scenario after being bad for what he did.
His last goal was a free kick against Forest. First goal back is a free kick.
Oh yeah, crazy.
Yeah. I think Johnny said there could VAR check that. They can't because it's not an interference of play.
Yeah, it's not, and it's already.
I looked that up. I was wondering that myself. VAR can't technically get involved because it's not an interference. So I don't know, man. I don't want to get. We're not going to
start talking about VAR, but
it's a great free kick, though.
Great free kick, yeah, fair play to him.
He just played.
I'm staying with Ivan Toney now. The interviews he made before the game was kind of a bit bizarre. He's kind of opening the door for a big club to come and get him, saying obviously, he's a good player. He's, last season he got 20 goals in the Premier League for Brentford, a team like Brentford, you know what I mean? Fantastic player, powerful, strong, fast, great penalties. Obviously I think Arsenal, Chelsea were linked with him. The price, I think Brentford are asking like 80 to 100 million. Do you think he's about there? Yeah.
I reckon probably age profile as well. I don't know if you're going to go late 20s. Chelsea don't look like they might go late 20s now again either, will they?
It's hard to know. He's 27, isn't he? 27?
28, I think, is he?
But they wouldn't buy Paulinho for his age during the summer because of his age. But like that's a model they'll have to change.
Yeah.
If they want to start, because this model that they're buying, under 23s for 60, 70 million isn't working. They're going to need to learn that
you have to get
pay. You have to get experience too.
You have to get the experience.
You know what I mean. So if I've
only been in the league for 3 seasons, and he's proven he's proven his worth. One of the best goal scorers in the Premier League.
He can play as a number 9 and as a 10. Like I was actually watching the picture of that game. He reminded me of Kane, the way he dropped deep to collect the ball.
Yeah. Because he has the pace and the power to get past.
The power, exactly.
The thing is as well,
he's outstanding, isn't
he? He does everything, and the fact he's come up from the championship as well is such a good thing.
Exactly. He's
class.
I'd love to see him at Arsenal. I
watch
our play well. Like we don't like. I don't know. Something about our play just might not suit him though. At the same time, I'd love to see him there, but
I feel like he's built for us. To be honest.
Yeah. Like
I do feel like that. But for you, I've said it all season long. If you could go get him, you'd win the league.
I think so too. I think he's exactly what you need because he creates enough chances. You just don't put them away.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
You do create.
8 days left of the market. I don't think we're going to get anyone in.
No, the market's been surprisingly quiet too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, like there hasn't been any real big signings.
Which is quite strange. I suppose.
Everyone's worried about it.
Everyone's afraid of. You know what I mean?
Speaking of financial fair play, Nottingham Forest are in a bit of bother about that. Now we've seen Nuno. I was reading an interview after he took over. He was saying how surprised he was at the sheer number of players that he had. He was like half the players that he said, you don't need this many players to have a team. You need like a good 22, 25 squad. But he was saying there's so many players that need game time, and then that's probably what's attributing to Nottingham Forest's downfall almost. They're not picking up results or anything like that recently, just because they do seem to change their team a lot. You know what I mean? Like all these players come in, do have a few cracking players. Don't be like Danilo's class. Like Gibbs White can on his day be good. But just have so many players. I don't understand half the signings they made.
That was back when obviously Cooper was in charge, and they were signing someone. They were like Chelsea this season. And summertime, every day they're signed like 40 players.
2 players a day, kind of thing.
It was just crazy. And they were mostly shite as well.
Geezers from the championship.
the year that they came up from the championship, they bought 20 players, didn't they?
21, I think it was. 21 players.
Because they said that they had mostly loan players the year they came up. And then this year they signed 14. And they only had outgoings of 8, I think, since they came up. Brendan Johnson being the biggest one. Like, that's mad.
Yeah. That's madness. Like that.
You know what I mean?
Madness. So like you know, I want to talk about
all of those. Sorry to interrupt, but all of those players that signed and are still relying on a 30-whatever-year-old Chris Wood up front.
Chris Wood, and in fairness,
I know they've.
He's getting them in.
Doing well
he
now,
scored
but,
6 goals in 6 games.
Yeah.
So you should him up.
Ademi, Addy, what's the guy's name? The other guy's name up front.
This guy. Iwanihi, yeah.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah,
he's class when he comes in, but I feel like he'd be sold. If it wasn't for his injury, he probably would have been bought by someone in January.
He'll be sold. Gibbs White will be sold.
Yeah.
I can see Elanga being sold off again because they got him for 50 million. His price will have doubled by now, potentially tripled.
Definitely,
yeah.
So, like, there's 50 million he'll bought for 45 million for Elanga. His performance into a good team, that's not unreasonable, I think, in today's market.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
And if he's English, he counts as a homegrown player because he was brought up to the youth system of United.
He's Swiss.
He's Swiss. Yeah, but he's brought
homegrown. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's a homegrown system. He's not. I know he's not English, but and he's not Swiss. He's Swedish. He's Swiss. He's Swedish.
Oh, sorry, I was mixing up. I was trying to say Swedish. Yeah, I was mixing up. Because when you said Swedish, I was like, "Man, he's not Swiss." I was imagining Swiss is in Sweden. Yeah.
Fucking Rob's brain is Swiss cheese.
All right, lads, do we think that Nuno is the right man for the job?
No. I don't think he's a good manager, Nuno.
Do you know what?
I think
we kind of found out at Spurs that he wasn't really the good manager, but you could put that down to the way Spurs were.
I was just going to say it was Spurs at the time. He came into a shit Spurs team, and he was given 2 months. The only thing that was wrong with that is the fans turned against the style of play straight away.
Yeah,
so
never having him.
Spurs was too big of a club for Nuno, but like he did well in Wolves. Now obviously he got fired from Wolves, but he did well. Or did he get fired from Wolves, or was he poached from Tottenham?
He poached, I think, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but look, Nottingham Forest are not fucking. First of all, they're not a top 10 team. They're not even a top 30. 13. They're maybe 15. That's just where they are. It's probably perfect for them. So the only thing is, he's going to have to give a chance. They're going to have to see where they are by the end of the season, whether they get relegation or not due to the points deduction. We'll see. But if they stay up, I suppose even if they go down, you're just going to have to stick it out with them. They spent all this money. They can't afford to get everyone to pay a release fee and then get another manager. You know what I mean? Because they're already in financial trouble. So regardless of what happens, they have to stick.
Yeah, no.
They only got him like 4 games ago, anyways, as well.
Exactly. And
it'll take some time, but like you never know, especially like the uncertainty of like the FFP, breaches coming in. It must be hard to kind of not know or have that hanging over your head at the same time, being like, oh, like you need to kind of pick up results before it happens. Just like Everton have kind of recuperated the points they lost. Obviously, they've done pretty well, but I can see Nottingham Forest continue to struggle. Speaking of teams struggling, we'll move on to Bramall Lane, Sheffield United to West Ham 2, a game that had quite a lot of bite in it, a lot of controversy as well in it towards the end of the game. Oisin, I want to start with you with this one. Penalty at the end? Do you think it's a penalty?
I only saw it really in real time. I haven't really seen a replay. I think at the time I said penalty.
Yeah.
I know that the one that Bowen had an opportunity as well for penalty for West Ham that wasn't given.
Given as a free out.
Free out, and I thought that was
that was a stone wall. I think they're both penalties, but the one on Bowen is a stone wall.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I thought
literally turned around and fucking hugged him and brought him out. How is that a free out?
Yeah. I think
it's outrageous.
Yeah, sorry, the Sheffield United one, I think was, looking back at it now, or thinking back at it, at the time I said it's a penalty, but yeah, the Bowen one, like that was bad. Like that was definitely like had to be. I just thought if that was anyone else, any big team, City, Liverpool, and that, if they'd be like blue murder would be screaming, screaming murder.
I hate to keep going on about it, but how does City get a penalty when Hoyland barely touched Rodri? And then, Bowen, literally, you man turns grabs him and jumps on him, falls down.
For City, like outrageous, such a bad call. And they need to.
They're all.
And yet they'll give a penalty for a tap on the shin. Do you know the kind of way?
Yeah.
I think
that's annoying a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah, I think, but on the game itself, I thought it was a good game. I think West Ham were quite wasteful. But in saying that too, Sheffield United had a lot of shots. But there were a lot of them were nothing shots as well. I think they may have a more on target, but they were
kind of
nothing really. Like Areola made some good saves. There's no doubt in that. But he made some important saves. I think that West Ham should really be, apart from the penalty aside, they'd be cursing their luck a small bit. That they didn't convert a lot of the chances, because some of them would have been the ones that even like off target, like you'd be betting on them to score or at least get them on target and test the keeper. So like it was a good game. I didn't see that coming as a draw. I was full short the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I wasn't watching the whole way through. Before I saw, I thought West Ham would actually clean them off.
It
was very, very frustrating to watch the first 20, 25 minutes, because there'd be two passes and the third one would be so far off. It'd be so really like, because they're literally passing it to where they were a minute ago. Like, it's so annoying.
In the case of West Ham already missing Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah,
big time.
Oh yeah,
Cornet
is shit. I was going to say Cornet. He got his goal. That's fine, but he didn't.
Like he's another one who kind of has so much potential, but just seemed that it hasn't. Since he tapped the Umbro badge instead of the Burnley badge, it's all gone downhill for him.
I tell you,
maybe I don't know he did it by accident.
Maybe he loves Umbro.
He loves Umbro. I think Ward-Prowse had a brilliant game.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse.
It's fantastic football.
Definitely another going under the radar completely. Like I know there's a lot of talking about the start of the season, but just no one's talking about him anymore. But now everyone's talking about fucking Calvin Phillips.
I know, yeah.
No, they don't do that. They don't need to do that. Like that's
no, they don't.
They don't.
They don't. But I think as well, which I really wanted to put the point across, that I actually didn't know he went on loan there. But Brenton Diaz, is it Brenton Diaz? Yeah. I didn't know he came on. He was just had to join on loan.
I was looking at an interview on Facebook there about him, and it was kind of bizarre. Like he's a good striker on his day. Like,
I only remembered him from obviously playing with Blackburn, and like when I was watching the game, I just seen this long-haired fella running up and down the left. I was like, who the fuck is that? And the commentator wasn't saying his name, so I had to look it up, and I was like, when the fuck did this happen? Completely, you know what I mean? He took his goal well, just like he did in the championship. He was in the right place at the right time.
He's a very back in the day, like a good championship striker.
He's been around a long time.
I don't think he ever got to the Premier League, did he?
No, he didn't. He went for free on to Villarreal or one of those boys in Spain.
Yeah, one of the Spanish clubs.
So I was surprised to see him back on loan there, and like that was quite recently enough that he was in the championship and he got like 30 or 40 goals or something like that one season. So it's nice to see him. I actually liked him. I really liked him when he was playing for
Blackburn. Like Pro Evo a couple of years ago and stuff. He was very good. And FIFA as well.
The few games I watched at Blackburn only because he was scoring a lot of goals, so I was keeping tabs on him, and I like him as a player. He's tenacious. He's always running. He's fairly fiery.
Did he only add Diaz onto his name recently?
Yeah, because he has Chilean.
He was Brereton. Was it Ben Brereton?
Yeah.
Because that's why he plays with. Does he play with Chile now? I think it is. Yeah.
Because wasn't he Welsh?
Yeah.
Where's he from?
I think he's English or Welsh. Yeah, definitely from the UK. But then they found I think it was through Football Manager that someone found that he has like Chilean heritage, that he just decided to put him down because he wasn't getting looking at the national team.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Great story. Look it up, like it's gas. Moving on, then we're going to go to the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 4. very disappointed about Bournemouth in this game. They just didn't really seem to get going. I think, 3 of the goals Liverpool scored were pretty average, or probably poor goals to concede. Jota and Darwin Núñez both back in doubles. But yeah, just disappointed with Bournemouth. Johnny, you can go with this one. Bournemouth, to just, like I said, Bournemouth of late have been phenomenal. Like, just their pressing, their passing, their attacking play has just been class. But just, whatever it was about this today, yesterday's game, they were just not.
I think the bit of a break done them the worst out of anyone that I've seen right this weekend, because they were on fire. Yeah. I think it's just halted them a bit. And then, of course, Liverpool in that second half were much, much better. I think they were fantastic. That first half they were poor. It was poor. They were clinical, I think. Rather than fantastic, they were clinical. Jota is he's an outstanding footballer.
I want to say about Jota. I commented on one of the posts on YouTube, and I got a lot of hate for it. I said Jota is a fantastic player, but he's a very unlikable player, and I don't know what it is about him. I don't know what it is about him. I can't explain it.
I do not like him.
But he plays for Liverpool, so he gets away with it. He's a diving little fucker. He always dives.
He's always going into dirty challenges.
He's dirty. Yeah, exactly. He's a good player.
Some finisher though. Serious.
Yeah, he's
a great player. Great finisher. Yeah. Any club.
However, he plays for Liverpool, and Liverpool's players don't get ever called divers. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, there you go. You can't be a diver for Liverpool. Yeah.
Liverpool doesn't happen. They're too morally right.
No, yeah.
They're the people's team. But yeah, they're definitely not we thought. A lot of people thought that they would struggle without Salah.
Jota's come back at the right time though.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess Darwin Núñez, in fairness, he's gotten a lot of stick, rightly so, over the season because he's been shite. 2 goals. He was very involved. He's heavily involved for that Liverpool team. His confidence definitely up. But 2 weeks, not next week, the game after they have Arsenal away. And Liverpool have only lost 1 game all season in Premier League. And I think that's talked about enough, and it was controversial against Spurs, the perfectly good goal disallowed. 2 men sent off, fair enough, that's fine. But, and then Spurs scored an own goal. Liverpool scored an own goal, the last kick of the game.
Yeah, it was I remember that game. The only controversial decision was the goal. There's nothing else controversial about it.
Nothing else, yeah, exactly. But look, just one loss all season. In fairness to them, they haven't been playing fantastic in a lot of the games. They are there to be beaten, 100%. I think you look at them, you look at the way they play, and they're just Van Dijk isn't the Van Dijk of old. We talked about it. Alisson has been phenomenal this season, in fairness to him. But again, he has made a couple of mistakes here and there, just the way people like to play. And they are, bringing a lot of the younger players, was it Connor Bradley? I think his name was.
Bradley,
right back,
and who seems pretty decent. Trent is out, and Robertson's out, Tsimikas is out as well. Joe Gomez is playing. Who don't really rate too highly, but just still getting results. McAllister, like we talked about numerous times, isn't the McAllister of Brighton standards. He's somewhat of a passenger in a lot of games I've seen recently. But they're still marching on. They're still top of the table by 5 points.
I think it's just because their front line is so powerful.
So prolific, yeah. Goals, they're outscoring.
Yeah,
so many times, how many games in a row they were conceding first, but they were still going on to win the game.
Still going on to win it, because they're just I know they're missing Salah, but having Jota back, and Diaz is a tidy player too. So
yeah, he's a great player.
It's their strike force really that's really pulled them out.
Yeah.
I didn't see the game. The truthful, I wasn't fucked to be watching it.
Fair enough.
But I can only go by what I've seen lately of Liverpool. Yeah, I agree with you. They haven't been pulling up any trees, but they're pulling out decent wins, and that's all that fucking matters. They keep it going. If they keep this going, I'd say if they keep top of the table come end of April, I think you're looking at them as champions, because even though. That game that City against Newcastle, only on the brilliance of Kevin De Bruyne, they're still showing the vulnerability of conceding goals.
Yeah.
Even though we're talking about the defense of Liverpool, Van Dijk is not the same player, and he's not. He's completely overrated. But they're still defensively doing their duties, and that's all you need to do.
That is having a very good season.
That this season has been very good, in fairness to him.
I think
he's a player I never really liked.
Who?
Konate,
yeah, he's having a great season, yeah.
So that's what's saving him.
Yeah, definitely. We do.
I
think they're definitely title contenders. I don't think Arsenal unless they start going on a run and start really, banging in goals and showing the form of last season, I don't think they'll be able to keep pace with City and Liverpool. But it's just a matter of City.
Well, what a big game that is, though, in 2 games time.
2 weeks.
Arsenal and Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, if Arsenal win that game, who knows? It's wide open. I mean, it's wide open for City to win 14 games in a row and then win the title by 20 points anyways. But, for the most part.
That's a must win for Arsenal, really. I think if you lose that game,
you're out of the race, 100%.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. If you lose that game, you're out of the race.
Yeah. So not really too much to take away from that. I guess the other talking point from that game was the red card appeal that might have been for Justin Kluivert. I don't know. I don't think it was given as a yellow card even, was it?
I thought
it was made like so. I know you didn't say, you said you didn't watch it, Oisin, but I don't know, there was a lot made out of online about it. I saw all the time that are given as yellow cards, and I think that's just maybe just the standard of, it is late. He does catch them like high on the ankle.
I think once it's tired, that should be yellow. But since Rashford got red for it against Copenhagen, send them off. Fucking send them off.
It's like United, doesn't it? It's always United.
I watched that back earlier on when you sent us the list of what we're talking about today, and like there's an element of some fairness to the point where McAllister fucked him into.
There you go.
Like he did fuck him into him as like for the most part. Now obviously he did lead with the studs, but he wasn't trying to go for the ball or block the ball from
there's momentum, I guess, maybe took him in, but like he definitely had the boot race.
It's not like he didn't go in there with intent to harm. He went in like he was.
Well, he went in to leave a mark. You could definitely think he went in to leave a mark. He didn't go to
fucking hell. Anyone was leaving a mark like
that, but
but he did go for the ball. He just didn't, he didn't pull out.
Yeah,
like any good man.
Which is a credit to his family.
Credit to his family. All right. Lads, we just obviously the Brighton and Wolves game was on today as well. Finished 0-0. Obviously we didn't watch it. We're recording this, but that's more of a very good point for Wolves than it is for Brighton. You would think Brighton, who have been
clean sheet for Brighton.
See the chances though.
Clean sheet for Brighton. Like they haven't kept. I think that's their second one this season. But I think away from home, Wolves would happily take that, no problem.
Definitely, because Brighton are unbeaten in the last 9 games or something, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah, since Arsenal.
Right. So I think this will suit Wolves better than Brighton.
Yeah, definitely.
For all we know, though, until we watch the highlights, there could have been terrible chances missed as well. We have no idea. We just know the scoreline. That's it.
Well, just like we touched on Gary O'Neill, how whatever job he's doing, and Brighton with Europe this season. Obviously, they're doing very well in Europe. They could go on and who knows, fucking win that Europa League. Who knows? Obviously, with Liverpool there, I would consider Liverpool strong favourites. But West Ham, like all the English teams in the Europa League, are doing well. Even Aston Villa in the Conference League are doing well. And Champions League, everyone except for Newcastle and Man United are doing well. But we
never liked Europe, innit?
Yeah.
Why did you bring that up?
I just brought it up there. I seen everything's good, don't you? But look, lads, there's no Premier League action this weekend, so I'll focus on the FA Cup. We have, I think, the biggest game of the weekend will be Spurs and Man City FA Cup.
No. Newport at home to United.
That's a great game.
We're going to end it there with that one. All right, so that's going to do it for us here on the Party Football Podcast. To all the viewers, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it does really help us out. Don't forget to get involved down in the comments. Let us know your predictions for the upcoming Premier League games and indeed the FA Cup games. Don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the whole lot. And we'll see you all here next week for another episode of